Welcome to St. Augustine this evening, where you'll find out who I am. I'm Mike Davis. Davey wants to know who I am. I'm Mike Davis. Not Mike Lewis. That guy's not in today. He'll be in next week.
Oh, I heard he's very sarcastic.
He's an awesome guy. We have a wonderful show for you. It's June 18th. It's Tuesday here in St. Augustine. It is movie review night. We've moved it up a week. So for those of you that did not do your homework, maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I'll disclose on the air. We'll go through with all this stuff.
I can't wait to find out.
Before we do that, we just need to make a little bit of money for the show.
Let's do it. Let's make it nice.
And these guys, Aber Kresge, they're a great CPA firm. I know they do work for me. They do work for nonprofits that I'm sit on a board for. They sponsor the show. They're absolutely awesome, but they're wonderful if you're doing tax compliance, planning, businesses, individual estates, and trusts. They have a team of top-level people to help you do audits, reviews, and other accounting services. They can do a business valuation, a forensic analysis, or even litigation support, which Troy may need one day. You can reach them at 904-460-0747 or online at aberkresgecpa.com.
Yeah, that. The team at South State Bank is a group of bankers you can count on. Their approach to building long-term relationships with their customers is the best in the business. If you are looking for a banking relationship you can depend on, check out South State Bank. They've got 3 locations in St. Augustine to serve you: State Road 312, State Road 16, or the beach. You can also check out their website at southstatebank.com. They are a member FDIC.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's step into the world of healing with Epic Behavioral Healthcare.
Epic healing with Epic.
I love it. For over 50 years, Epic has been the beacon of hope for our community. Incredible story. We talked to Teresa last week, providing compassionate care for those touched by substance use or mental health disorders. Whether you're a kid, teen, adult, couple, or family, Epic is here to lend a helping hand. They have a ton of resources out there. We talked about how important mental health is this morning on the morning show. We have a lot of things, a lot of heavy things going on in town. I want to let everybody know out there, Epic has the resources out there for all of us. Reach out to them if you need any kind of help. They actually have a mobile response unit, which is incredible. Go to epichealthcare.org.
All right, and Salomon Services. They've got a state-of-the-art center with indoor and outdoor turf areas. All of their coaches are certified through the National Strength and Conditioning Association. And right now, not only are they working on all of us older people, you know, the grandpas like Troy out there.
Seasoned.
They're also working with utes. And if you've got a ute who's trying to get in better shape or be quicker, faster, stronger for next season, this is the time to do it.
Nice.
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, both middle school, high school, and college classes. They've got reaction drills, first step quickness, and acceleration.
You know what's nice about this?
I didn't accelerate through that word. I kind of stopped. They've got upper body development for power, Davey.
Beautiful.
Lower body development for explosiveness and speed and playmaking ability. Listen, give Salomon Services a call. They're a great organization. They'll get you in shape, whether you're a seasoned person like myself,
right?
A middle-aged person like somebody next to me, or a ute. You'll get in better shape. Yes.
Better with the ute. Yeah.
Today is the 18th of June on the Jackie Herd calendar, and there is nothing today.
Well, that's because tomorrow is Juneteenth, so everyone's
tomorrow is Juneteenth.
We're prepping up for that. Yes.
Tomorrow, and we will have a new guest host tomorrow.
So you guys are going live with the show. We're not. We are dark with shows tomorrow out of respect of Juneteenth.
We are going to do a show, as far as I know, unless Amanda tells me she doesn't want to do a show.
Spoken like Northeast Florida. Here we go.
No.
We usually work on holidays.
We work on holidays.
You guys are like the elves of broadcasting.
We are not the bankers of broadcasting like the morning crew.
Well,
if it's a banking holiday, you guys are skippity-doo out of here.
There is power in recovery. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just telling you that right now.
Power in recovery.
Yeah.
Recovery, what's that?
There's also
see, exactly. You need to taste it.
There's also
it's called
power.
Friday for you, right?
There's also a sense of accomplishment in doing your job every day, except Fridays, which we don't do.
Drive through twice,
which we do not. We've got no desire to do that. All right, right now, Florida State is up 7-5.
Okay.
It is the bottom of the 7th inning against North Carolina. It is an elimination game. Those of you that were going to see the Florida game, I've heard that's been postponed to tomorrow morning, so you don't have to stay up late tonight. Because Florida played last night. They were supposed to play 2 nights ago, a 7 p.m. game. I don't think it got started until like 10:30 or 11.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So the Gators will play at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Are we interrupting your sports ball today, Mike?
No. I'm watching and doing all this at the same
So
time.
who is going to win the match?
Go sports ball.
Yeah,
sports
touchdown!
ball.
I
I
love
know.
them. They get so excited when they do something nice.
I love it. The only thing that Davey would really, really appreciate is curling.
Curling is a very you
Curling
have a lot of
is
focus on that sport. Yes,
Fun to watch.
yes,
I
definitely.
watched a construction worker the other day curl a compactor.
Oh,
So he got it started. There was a big red dot, and then he let the compactor go, and everyone was out there with shovels trying to make it look like it was it was super funny and a complete waste of time for whatever guy was paying them. But it
wait, you're
wasn't-
not talking
was that
about
you?
the curling
wasn't
iron
my
with-
company, so I was good. Wasn't my
So
company.
close.
I was like,
So
all right,
close.
we're good. We're good. We're good.
No,
we're
it's
good.
the only Olympic sport that requires cleaning.
Well,
That curling.
that would be so good.
See? I
Give me a
know.
little Fabuloso and I'll go all the way down.
Yeah.
Pete doesn't like Fabuloso because it smells like pickles to him.
Why doesn't he like Fabuloso?
God, great
It
Fabuloso.
smells like pickles?
smells so good.
That's
What is Fabuloso
Okay.
anyway?
Oh, it's like a cleaning product, but it's a really good one. Like, I mean, that's what most
Is this
people
the one where the ladies came on and talked to us about it one day?
No, that's Norwex. God bless your mind, though. That's so
Okay.
nice that you remembered that. That's so kind.
We had, if you ever walk into Cantina Louise, right as they open, it smells like Fabuloso.
Boom, yes. It's very
Fabulous.
prevalent in my Latina crowd porque un tanto del mundo recaete papacholita limpia la casa. Yes.
Are you self-appropriating a language?
No. My grandmother's from Uruguay, so I am bilingual.
That I want to see.
Oh, really? Oh, she was such a hot fire artist. Suita was her name. She
Suita?
broke the family cookie jar. Listen to this story real quick.
my word.
Okay, so she literally smashed, that's where they were saving all their money. So she smashed the cookie jar, stole all the money,
Yeah.
and got on the next ship to the United States. Changed her name. She no longer wants to be called Suita anymore. She wants to be called Susie. And then married the first sailor that she met. God bless her. 6 kids later.
mean,
and
maybe
she
guys in
hated
those
all
pants.
of them. Hated her whole family except Day Day. She loved Day Day. That's the only one she loved.
That's great.
My grandmother was amazing. Everybody hated her except me. I love her.
That's nuts.
So
That's
good.
funny.
So, anyway, how are we doing?
I'm doing good. I'm trying to keep up on the game here, and I'm kind of got stuck. So every time it gets to a certain point, it's I am assuming that I have maxed out the capability of the 904 Now studio. But
Oh,
Shaking my head.
Yeah.
Shaking my head.
Wow.
yeah, I'm going to exit out of it, enter back into it. You know,
I don't care for the color of that uniform. Anyway,
which color is that?
it was
David?
like a
us, Clary.
melange. It was like a melange.
No
It wasn't-
internet
It wasn't like a
connection.
true
What's
yellow.
going
It was
on
sort of
with
like
the
a
internet?
bird pea yellow. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like that lighter yellow.
I had a very dramatic bird poop on my windshield when I went out to drive my kids to swim practice this morning, and then it rained, and so I have to turn my windshield wipers on, and it's just
Oh no, that's
The
not
schmear.
good.
I
The
had
schmear.
a frown on
That's
half of
so
my windshield.
not
It's
good.
terrible. So
That is
bad.
horrible.
That is so
Yes.
not good.
But don't you hate it when people say like when like a bird craps on you, like, oh, that's good luck?
That's Italian.
Who says that?
We're talking
Really?
Italian.
Who says
Is
that?
it really good
That's
luck?
what I've
though?
heard.
Or is it just like you have sympathy for the person?
Who says that? No one
The
says that.
Italians.
Troy.
see.
Troy would say that. Pig farmer life.
No one says that. No one says that's good luck. Everyone says I got to clean that off the car, and that's horrible.
Oh, I know.
Osprey is the worst.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's why you moved your truck.
Osprey and Pelican are the absolute worst.
Pelican.
Pelican's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pelican
it's just
brief.
not good.
I
It's
need to wear them.
It's just not good.
Not fun.
It's not good at all. So it is movie night.
Uh-huh.
So this is our third movie
Yeah.
that we have allegedly all watched.
Right? Yeah, third. Yep. Women, yeah.
Have you watched the movie Mike Davis?
I'm gonna wait for you guys to comment on it, so then I can
So that you
dovetail
can
off of
cheat
your
and
comments.
piggyback off of the last 3 words we say of every sentence. We know your
I
tricks.
Just want to see what you guys have to say, because I think if I watched it, I probably have a unique take on it.
This whole thing is movies with Mike.
It is.
This whole thing.
Just
what
give me your
happened?
opinions.
We're gonna have to schedule a sit down and watch the movie physically with Mike Davis.
We can't do that. We're busy.
Well,
gonna
first
have
of
to
all, I didn't
Clockwork
watch.
Orange this
if
thing
you
with your
watch the
eyelids.
movie, if you watch this movie, you didn't watch it. You read it. It was like reading
Oh,
a
my
book
word.
with pictures.
No, Mike
Yes,
Davis.
it was.
Okay,
you had
so
to
he
sit
turned
there
it
and
on.
read
Embarrassing in
for
American
2
culture
hours.
right here.
At
Even
least he
Trump
turned
is
it on.
upset right now with you. This is a mess.
What is the name of it? It was a beautiful, big, beautiful
Perfect.
life.
Just keep it there.
a
Yeah.
beautiful life. What was the name?
Life is beautiful.
Life is beautiful. I remember the title of this since it started. So I've looked it up 17 different times on the internet. I think only once did I get it right.
Mike Davis. This is a mess.
Life is beautiful.
It's Russian misinformation.
What's that?
Birds pooping on you as a sign of good luck. It originated in Russia. It's Russia misinformation.
Oh, don't care for that. Nope. Yep. Moving on.
We're gonna move
so
on from
Life
that.
is Beautiful. At least you saw. I did see it again.
So Life is beautiful. You've seen it before.
Yes, and I watched it again. Yeah.
Did you like it better the second time?
Actually, I did. I mean, I liked it. I remembered that I loved it the first time I saw it, and the second time I loved it even more. Yeah. I think because of things that happened in life kind of just made me a little bit more human, and I got to pick up on the little nuances of sensitivity, and especially the relationship between dad and son. That was just so like heartstrings for me. But yeah, definitely the second time I saw it was way more moving. But still, it's honestly in my top 5 of all time.
I agree that it was more moving the second time, but I also watched it the first time as a young girl dating her soon-to-be husband. So, like, watching it as a parent is a whole
Netflix
different
and chill?
experience.
Spookaria, really?
Back when you received the DVDs in the mail, yes.
That's what you guys would do?
Yes.
And then, so that Netflix was in the mail at that time, right? Oh, wow.
It started out in the mail.
I remember this.
I've been a member of Netflix for so long that not only was it you received the DVDs in the mail, I was there for the ill-fated rebrand when they tried to splinter off their streaming and their Netflix receive it in the mail.
I was there too, for this. Yeah.
For that horrible rebrand. It was terrible. Was it Quickster or something?
I remember this, yeah.
And Quickster was the one in the mail?
Yeah.
Like they were going to change their flagship?
Did not work.
Streaming should have been Quickster because that's the one that's instantaneous. Netflix is the one that's like...
Right.
It's
they were trying to make it seem like the mail was quick, but it wasn't. Yeah.
So, again, the movie.
Okay.
Did you like it or not like the movie?
Of course.
Of course.
Okay. What spoke to both of you about the movie?
What spoke to you?
I want to hear your answers first. I have a whole page.
He has a page of notes.
I have a page of notes that I've already written.
And they're handwritten. They're not printed out, so I'm impressed.
I have a page of notes. I have things to say about this movie.
Okay, good.
But I want to hear what y'all have to say before I tee this up.
I have so many questions.
Because when I hit this, it is going way down the fairway.
Okay.
I'm not topping this one. This is going to be about a 400-yard drive when I hit this.
I knew you were going to have thoughts. I knew you were going to have
comments
thoughts.
and thoughts.
I'm glad you do. Okay, good. All right, so Amanda, lead us off. What do you... Go ahead.
Okay, it starts very European, little strange art house, kind of movie. But once they get married and they're a settled family, then that's when the heart of the movie comes out. And it's kind of interesting for me from the psychology perspective, given what he did to try and protect his son, because for the movie's sake and the story arc of it, it definitely works. Like, I don't know long term how that would affect his son being gaslit through the entire experience of the concentration camp.
But did he protect his son?
My second question there, yeah.
So that's the thing. Like, he's trying to protect his son. So physically, he did protect his son because he's the only kid that survived the camp because he hid his son.
Correct.
And because he was so good with his deception in that. But then, like, emotionally and psychologically, I don't know whether he protected it. That's what I'm saying. Like, I get for the story arc.
Can you talk about,
of
like,
it.
why you think maybe he didn't protect him mentally, as in your psych background?
Well, so he went through something horrific and tragic that he completely denied his son the ability to talk about and process, and kind of tricked him. He didn't kind of trick him. He tricked him throughout the whole thing.
When would they have time to do that?
What?
Like to process, like this whole thing moved. Ba 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 ba.
So
scene by
every
scene.
day when someone was dying in the concentration camp would have been a minute to process
like,
just about anything.
Yeah, I mean, rather than what he did was kind of what cult leaders would do. In that
Great, David Koresh.
Well, it is because
And I thought I had a unique take on this movie.
Me too. Jeez,
Wow, I was really looking forward to mine, but I'm intrigued by
I'm
by
fine.
Amanda's.
Let me just have a cigarette. Go ahead.
Because like deny what your eyes are telling you, deny what your senses are experiencing, and just believe what I'm saying. Deny what everyone else is telling you, because people tell him the truth, the little boy. And every time he goes to his father to ask him about it, and yes, he's doing it to protect him from the horror of the moment. And that's admirable in the context of the story. I'm just saying, like, what does 40-year-old Joshua do with that experience?
Yeah.
Like, does it make him easier to manipulate? Does it make it harder for him to trust people because he was lied to throughout that entire experience? And now he's put the mom in the position, which was unintentional. But like, and this isn't the movie. Like, I thought the movie itself was like, the story itself is beautiful.
Horrible, but
and
go ahead. Yeah.
But like, from the psychology perspective, like, you put the mom in the position of, yes, your mom is here, but now your mom has to explain to you what you went through,
and why
you
the dad
find
is dead,
out that your dad that you're missing completely lied to you.
Yeah, right. And you have no way to agree.
I don't think the kid could ever watch anything again that had a point system in it.
Life is beautiful.
All games are ruined.
All games are now ruined from this point. So here is my kind of take. I did read the movie. I don't think it's so much a watch as a read because it was subtitled.
What a jerk.
And I don't mind subtitled movies, but
apparently you do. Let's just put that
I read
out
the
there.
movie.
Okay.
Because I was going to do other work while watching this, but
geez.
I had to sit there for 2 hours and read the movie.
You can fold socks at the same time. You'll be
no,
okay.
I can't fold socks and do that at the same time.
You failed to grasp how meticulous he is with his socks.
I don't fold my socks. I watched the entire movie. I just pair them together, Davey. They'll be fine. They'll come out okay. So I watch the movie, right? And one thing is I'm looking for the moment when I'm supposed to cry. Because you guys all said, there's no way you're not going to cry.
Troy said that.
I didn't cry. I didn't come close to crying. I came close to throwing things.
I'm officially scared of you.
Well, you have to understand.
You don't fold your socks. You don't cry in life.
It's the folding of socks that he's afraid of. So I went after the movie and looked. So Bertolini, whatever his name is. Right?
Roberto Benigni.
Benigni, thank you, Benigni. He won Best Actor in 1999 for this role.
Yes, sir.
And then sexually assaulted Halle Berry. Wasn't that him?
And the chair.
I think the chair is still in therapy. Over Tom Hanks, who was playing the captain in Saving Private Ryan. Yep. I can't remember his name either. Captain somebody. Somebody will tell us.
Tom Hanks.
But Tom, okay, so hang on. So let's work with this. So when it first started, I thought it was like a slapstick kind of comedy. So the first half of the movie, I agree with Amanda, is more comedy. The second half of the movie is an intense drama, right? But when I'm watching the first half of the movie, the first thing that hits me is, my God, here's an actor that makes Troy Blevins look handsome. That's the first thing I thought. Here's a short actor who's comedic, and I thought, my God, this guy makes Troy Blevins look handsome. This is just a scary thing to watch, right?
Showing his belly button off into the elementary school.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sucking on a woman's leg that he has just met.
Right.
Right? I'm like, oh my gosh.
But that's kind of Italian culture, though, too. This is obviously a cultural divide.
Yeah.
We had to, when we were texting and then we actually worked our way through that. So there was like a cultural divide here.
Yeah.
And then in my head, I'm like, Mystery Science Theater. It's me and two other people watching this, right? And I felt like I had Andy Griffith and Barney, right? That Andy and Barney were sitting right there. And
how much bourbon did you drink?
I didn't drink it all.
Where are we here?
I didn't drink it all. So I'm watching this, and every time Bellini does something crazy or silly with the hats or whatever his name is, right? I'm going, Andy Griffin, just like, I felt like I was watching Ernest T. Bass from the Andy Griffin Show. He's an annoying character that goes 100 miles an hour and blah, 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 blah. And I feel like this is the Italian version of Ernest T. Bass.
Yeah.
And every single time in the show, Andy Griffin would go, there goes a happy man. And Barney would go, there goes a nut. And that's what I was thinking through the entire time. I mean, because he's just kind of a nut through the whole first half
Well, she
of the
didn't want
movie.
to get married to the first guy, right? And that's where he kind of stole her way on the horse.
Mom sort of was trying to finagle that marriage with the guy in the
I think she was
government
mad. It was
office.
4 years or 5 years till she saw the little kid.
Yeah.
Right.
I think she was still mad
Yeah.
about it.
Well, I mean, wouldn't you if your son-in-law was showing off his belly button and underwear to elementary school kids? I mean, it's a little weird.
Yes.
And sucking legs off of people. Yeah.
So here's where I struggled with the movie, right? And I struggled with it as a dad in what I felt like is your role as a dad. So if you watch this movie, even in the comedic parts at the beginning, and especially in the second kind of stanza of this when the little boy is there, and he has his bookshop. He pulls down the door on the bookshop at the end, and it has Jewish store written.
Right.
The persecution of the Jews was already evident. You already knew that was coming.
Yeah.
He did not leave. He did not pick
Out of
up his
pride.
He did not pick up his wife and he did not pick up his 4-year-old son and try to. He owned a stupid bookstore. You can open up one of those anywhere you want to. Barnes & Noble has proven that. I mean, you can open this up anywhere. He should have left.
When's the last time you went to Italy?
Should have left.
Well, a lot of countries were not giving visas to Jews in the lead up of World War II, including the United States. I mean, there were shiploads of Jews that were within eyesight of the Statue of Liberty, and they were turned back. So governments were not giving visas. So I see where you're coming from.
Should have gone.
You had to go, like you had to leave super duper early.
Yes.
Or you had to finagle the black market. And we already saw that he was not politically connected.
Well, in the beginning of this time period, if they acted correctly the way that the soldiers wanted all Jews to act, they could have been able to continue. I mean, I read this in Anne Frank. Like there was a time period before it like got really concentration camp and busing people out that they had to actually be human. As long as they kept in line. As
long as they kept with the rules. And there's something called normalcy bias, and that's why people didn't immediately evacuate the Twin Towers on 9/11, because normalcy bias tells you that they're going to tell us when to evacuate. Like this is all. This is all going to make sense. And so that was a big part of why the Jews didn't just immediately vacate all of Europe, because they believed this is as bad as it's going to get. It's going to go back to normal. It's what we just went through with 2020 and forward. Like, this is going to go back to normal, guys, I swear. And like
3 more months,
2019 America is not coming back anytime soon.
So I felt like he should have left. And I'm offended that he didn't leave because of what he put his child through.
But that's like 75% of the Jewish population in Europe.
I fully get that, right? But he put his family through that. He should have tried, right? He should have absolutely 100% tried. I know I'm reading this through backwards through history, right?
Is
way different culture. Way different culture.
I get it. But the other thing is the little boy would never have survived in the concentration camp. There's no way, and it's an undisclosed amount of time. You don't know if he made it there 4 days or if it was 2 years.
It was 1,000 points.
1,000 points.
But you don't know how many days it was, right?
I know.
You have no idea. The Germans were ruthless at this.
Yeah.
They were ruthless.
And he was loud in the bunker. It's in my notes.
There's no way I mean, so my suspension of disbelief, now I'm mad at it. I'm thinking there's no way this little kid survives. You don't have some hiding place for him to stay in. It's not like he's hidden away. You don't think that once in the 1,000 points, we'll give Amanda's time frame, that somebody wouldn't have searched the bunkers and found this kid, right?
Well, it was a well-behaved bunker.
Well,
they were fine.
Corrie ten Boom, who survived concentration camp, she speaks to that.
Yeah.
They didn't necessarily search.
Okay.
The Nazis didn't necessarily search the dorms because they were terrified of lice and fleas. And so because the guards, at least in Corrie ten Boom's concentration camp, the guards' fear of the lice and the fleas, it gave them a protected little enclave away from the guards where they could spread the gospel of Jesus, because they were Christians that were helping the Jews. And so they were spreading the gospel of Jesus, and they were ministering to these women in the concentration camp and had a Bible study. They were able to smuggle in a Bible. And so they found out in a very poignant moment in the book. I mean, the sisters that are there, Corrie and her sister are there. And her sister reminds her, the Bible tells us that we should praise and thank God in all times. And Corrie kind of rolls her eyes and says, yeah, we're supposed to praise God for the fleas. And she says, yes, we're supposed to praise God for the fleas. And so she leads her sister in a prayer, thanking God for the fleas. And then they find out later the way they were able to have this ministry and share the gospel and bring all of these people to faith in Jesus and to help them through their experience in the concentration camp is because the fleas were there and the guards were afraid of them.
You have no idea how many people work for the flea collar industry.
I'm aware.
Like, seriously, that is a major thing.
You kids. All right. So, but the thing that gets me, right, is not that they completely omit out of the movie what his wife would have had to have endured. Okay. I mean, his wife's in a concentration camp, and they barely touch on her experience. They touch a lot on the dad.
Because the story's about the dad and the
son.
I mean, it is about the dad and the son, right? At the very end, the Americans save him. Right. In the tank, which I knew a tank was coming because you guys dropped the tank reference, or you and Troy yesterday.
Well, that was
He's trying to win the tank.
Yeah, trying to win it. I get this. So the mother and the son are finally reunited. Not one tear for the dad.
They hadn't gotten to that yet.
I'm just telling you, not one tear for the dad.
You saw 30 seconds of the reunion.
I'm just so
30 seconds.
Here's my real bitch about the Oscars from 1999.
Unbelievable. Here we go.
Bitch, right?
This is unbelievable.
So you have a male role
Where
who
am
doesn't defend his kid and his wife, doesn't try to get them out of a country, but the movie's about how he lies to his son.
He dies trying to save his wife.
How he lies to his son after he's made the mistake of getting them staying too long in a place they shouldn't have
Trying to
stayed.
make his son feel comfortable in a time of war.
And they give this role the Academy Award. They do not give the Academy Award to Tom Hanks' role.
Dry-ass Tom Hanks, who does the same freaking character. It's like a stale piece of bread every freaking time you see him on the camera.
Davey,
it's the same thing, same thing.
This stale piece of bread that you saw in the story left his family in the United States, went over to Europe to save Europeans from Nazism, and then turns around and decides, I'm going to go on a dangerous mission to save this one kid who's lost his brothers.
In one note.
And dies in that. But we'd rather give the award to the guy who's the idiot.
Oh,
so one
why?
guy was
Because
a hero
he's
and the other was an
foreign?
idiot.
Because he's foreign.
No,
That's
because
why.
he was,
Wonderful. Thank you.
He was a nutcase.
This is ridiculous.
He
We're
was
never
a-
watching this movie ever again.
Thank goodness.
So one of my open-ended fun questions are, do you ever fudge the truth to your kids?
Yes.
Okay, tell us when you use those for opportunity.
I mean, Susan Johnson mentions in the comments Santa Claus. We do Santa Claus with the kids, and that can be controversial in the faith community.
Ooh, yeah, worshiping a false god, right?
We don't worship him.
Okay.
And so 2 out of my 3 now know the truth about Santa Claus. So that is one way that we've fudged it. I mean, I try not to just blatantly lie to my kids about much in this world. I can't answer that right now. And again, I go back to Corrie Ten Boom in The Hiding Place. Her dad gives her the answer. Do you trust me enough to let me carry the weight of that answer until you're old enough? Do you trust me enough to be able to answer that question when you're
my
ready?
parents needed that line.
So-
That would have been a good one for me.
My mom had a great line for us the whole time that we were kids. Said, if you believe, then it's true.
Oh.
She didn't answer yes or no. She just simply said, if you believe in
You
that,
should
then
have
it's
talked
true.
to Susan and Dave. That would have been great. They would have really been able to help me out.
Did you have issues?
Oh.
Do you need a minute? Do we need
Like my whole life. What are you kidding
back
me?
and get
I'm a
the towel,
lifetime
Anna.
movie over here.
Yes.
Meredith Baxter Burney is
Yes.
writing my script. Oh, so
Yes,
anyway,
Melissa, the
okay,
suitcase
so
answer.
terrible movie, 1 star.
I thought that it's a beautiful movie, and I don't agree with his parenting tactics, but
I loved him as a dad.
But I get it as a narrative device in the movie. And so, like, while I wouldn't take it as an inspirational movie for, like, parenting tips, I do see how they used
Definitely
it.
not. Okay. We're definitely
Yes.
clear on that.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
So I see how they used it as a narrative device to showcase this relationship between a father and a son in this horrible period of time. And as goofy as the man was, he seemed to have a deep capacity for love. Maybe lacked a little wisdom, but he seemed to have a huge capacity for love. And that's what the story's about. And so I get the story they were trying to tell. I'm not going to claim that he should have been in the 10% of Jews that saw it coming and be mad at him for not being that. So, like, I get what they were trying to tell, and I thought that they told it in a beautiful way, even if it's not an instructional video for parenting.
Davey. And I thought I put a lot into my notes.
I did put a lot into my
memorized
notes,
hers.
but I'm just blown away at this moment. I've never been in this position before. It's okay. I'm learning new types of culture on air. Would you have gotten on the train?
No.
Because the wife chooses to get on the train.
You wouldn't have gotten on the train, Mike Davis.
Oh, you're talking about go get my wife? I don't let my kids on the train.
Right.
There's
Your
a-
kids and your wife are on the
There's
train.
literally a saying, and I know it came up after World War II. You never get in the boxcar.
Never get
When somebody tells you to get in a boxcar, do not get in the boxcar.
So-
Nothing good happens when they put you on a train in a boxcar.
What are you going to do? You're going to be like Rambo? Like, you're going to go like try to get to the...
Well, Davey, would you rather go that way, or would you rather suffer a horrible existence?
Well, I have a whole different perspective on that.
And I thought she was amazing going with. I thought that was probably the bravest part of the entire movie.
I get why she got on the train.
Yeah.
Because like she wasn't going to allow her family connections. There's no coincidence with the fact that the grandma shows up and the next day they're frickin' arrested. Like she's clearly politically connected and clearly the grandma protected her.
And why she went down there to talk to that officer. Yeah. So with confidence.
Yeah. So my thing is, don't get on the train. Use your connections to get your family out. Like,
I think that's what she tried to do, but she got shot down with that.
Well, they don't show her trying to negotiate her family off the train. They just show her demanding her spot on it. And so,
no, I disagree. I'm so sorry. I think before that moment, she was trying to negotiate, and he shot her down. And then the train starts to go, and she says, "Wait, I want to be on that train."
Okay.
She obviously didn't see how my mother would have negotiated.
Yeah, maybe mommy should have been there.
I'm gonna tell you, my mom would have negotiated a completely different way.
I don't know. That's just a crazy time. I couldn't imagine.
It's awful what happened to the Jewish people at that time, right? And to me, this movie kind of touches on that a little bit, but I think the kind of comedy part of how he gets his son to survive in that, I just
living in La La Land. You don't like that.
I just didn't like that.
So I read a few months back Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning.
Yep.
And he is a psychologist. He's a doctor that survived the concentration camps, and he talks about how he survived the concentration camps and the patterns, the behavior patterns, and the psychology that he saw in people that survived and people that didn't survive, and how you could tell that someone was going to die within 2 days. So I was kind of watching the movie through having just recently read that book. And so part of it is you have to have something that you're fighting for, something that you're living for. And so like I see that story told in this movie. Everyone's, the family is living for that reunification. They're trying to survive for each other, at least the husband and the wife. And so like I see that but watching it, I'm like, how do all of his bunkmates feel about this? I mean,
I was there too. They were a little bit too calamitous in like the bunkers. Like there was a little bit too much going on. I would have been annoyed. You know what I mean? If there was this little kid that's like singing and dancing, hitting pots and pans and like being all over the place, I'd be like, sit down.
Yeah. So it should tell me it's not one person in there was worried they were all going to get killed because the little kid was in there and wouldn't have squealed.
I will give you that.
No way.
That's a
Jose. Not in that kind of stress.
That's a quick edit. That's a quick fix, though. We can, just change the scenes around a little bit. But I will give you that. I thought that was like, that's a stretch.
So like, I started looking at it through the bunkmates' eyes and like, okay, so do they feel compelled to share their rations because they're all getting underfed and this boy has no rations? So do they all feel compelled to share? How do they feel about this lie that's being told? Like, does it help them get through it? Or does it, grind salt in the wound to see this kid? I mean,
I didn't see grind salt.
It obviously did because some of them told the kid the truth. As soon as they got the kid away from the dad, and the dad was serving somewhere else. And then he had to
lie to him again and tell him, they're trying to fool
silly.
you.
Don't listen to them. Yeah.
And so, like, clearly some of the bunkmates don't agree with this because they tell the kid the truth, and then the dad has to gaslight the kid some more. So that's why I was
let's just call it what it is. Gaslighting is a new term. He lied to him. He straight out absolutely lied to him. Now, he did it because he thought it would help him live through this horrible experience. And that's the way the script was written.
And it did in the story.
I don't think in real life that had a snowball's chance of Hades of surviving.
So how does this movie compare to other Holocaust movies that you've seen? Like we've seen Schindler's List. I mean, we've seen, there's a myriad of them out there. How does this one compare?
Yeah. I just don't think it was very realistic.
Okay.
Right? In that
sense. Fantasy for you.
I didn't, right? So I don't know if you've ever seen Stalag 17. I thought that is a very realistic.
Nehemiah, what did you say?
Stalag 17.
I don't know this one.
William Holden's in it. Oh. So it's from the 1960s. It was a U.S.
Added on the list.
U.S. prisoners of war.
I don't know how to spell it.
U.S. prisoners of war are in a German POW camp.
Okay.
And all the things that they're going through to try to escape. The other is The Great Escape, which was based on a real escape. Again, another great movie, great cast. I think that shows some of the brutality of the Germans a lot more than what you saw in this movie. Germans were not nice people back then.
No.
They were not nice.
Harsh.
I mean, I almost feel like the Holocaust is sort of a narrative device in the story. The story is not specifically about the Holocaust. It's just the chaotic action that is used to tell the story of the father and the son relationship.
I feel like until when that moment where he's like saving his son and he runs into the pile of bodies.
Yeah.
I think that was a moment where it smacked him in the face, to Guido in the face, was like, this is the reality that we are actually trying to escape. And I think that there was a change in his character at that moment. And you saw him pause for a second, like a Pinter pause, and then kept going and, you know, just trying to get out of that situation.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say this. It has sparked a tremendous amount of conversation on this show. For something that you guys kind of liked, I didn't like. It has sparked a lot of different insight into that. So from a art genre, right? I mean, if you want to look at that, where you see something and it causes you to think about other things. In that case, I would say that this movie was successful. I completely disagreed with it, but I've enjoyed the conversation about why I disagreed with it.
So do we need to explain to you which movies are documentaries and which movies aren't? Because I feel like you watched it expecting a documentary.
To be a documentary. That's
and
what's
you got real salty about the fact that it didn't happen.
There was an actual story. Once upon a time story.
I just think if you're going to use that time period to tell that story, I don't think that's very realistic. For the brutality that went on and the amount of people that were killed, to tell that story that way using that time period, I disagree with that. So that's just my...
Well, Kathy agrees with you. She says that she had a hard time getting through it because it wasn't realistic. It was too movieistic.
Too fantical for people.
It tried to be too cute with something. I mean, I don't mean to it was almost like watching the movie or the Italian movie version of Hogan's Heroes. Right? I mean, I was like, seriously. It just...
But on a serious episode?
No, there were no serious episodes.
What the last
I was waiting for LeBeau to come save them all. Hogan's Heroes made light of life in a German concert, and it was on TV for a long time. I don't think there was much to make light of in that, but they figured out a way to do it out of Hollywood, and people watched it. And I watched a lot of the episodes when I was a kid, right? But if you think about what those prisoners of war went through, that's the last thing they went through, is that kind of comedy stuff. So when I look at that movie there, I draw the same analogy. It's not an accurate depiction of what that was like.
But Yellowstone is an actual depiction of that. Like that's...
Davey, if you bring up Yellowstone again, I will
have to compare you.
I will beat you with a branding iron.
Good gracious.
Next month, Cecil B. DeMille, 10 Commandments. We're ready. The unedited version.
Should we remove all non-documentaries?
We should remove all non-documentaries.
Is this just Mike crapping on movies?
So far, we've watched a very, 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 very long chase scene. And we've watched a very, 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 very long divorce movie. And now we've watched a movie I had to read.
Actually, they did.
So I'm looking forward to whatever the Wheel of Destiny spins next. But I swear, if it spins up something bad, I'm making my own Wheel of Destiny with like 20 buddy movies and war movies.
It is your show. Do we?
No, we're going to let the Wheel of Destiny play out again because it has been great for the show.
What if we give you a spin the wheel again
6
card,
hours
though?
of my life.
Like, what if you have a card that you can...
A veto?
Yeah, you have a veto card.
I think you play it as it is.
Okay.
That's how we set this thing up. But I'm telling you, if this one comes up,
I'm so nervous.
Is everyone terrified out in the audience?
I am so nervous. Like,
drop it in the comments.
I really thought we were going to have this incredible conversation about this moving movie, and
I think it's moving.
Bull roar. Bull roar. Y'all didn't like it. You went psychoanalyst, and he went, oh my God, it was too fantical.
Well, so I said I really liked the movie. I thought it was very beautiful in how it tells the story.
Then we're taking a psych class from you.
Did
you take notes? Because I'm going to need them after the class, Davey.
Apparently I have an Oedipus complex.
I said as a throwaway that from a psych perspective, I don't know that it's the greatest strategy, and you guys asked, so I answered the question.
It's true. We do not lie on shows.
You expressed your opinion, and you know what we did? We made fun of it, just like we do of everything on this show, Amanda. So don't get salty.
Yeah. Just because you had to read a movie. All right. I love the Wheel of Destiny. We need to always call it that. So please spin the
what
wheel.
does the Wheel of Destiny
Do
tell
I need
us?
Do I need to rename it?
I
No.
don't know. You can
I've
just
got
spin
movies
it.
with Mike
it.
on there right now.
Oh, man.
Oh my word, I'm terrified.
I'm terrified, too, of what we're going to get.
I'm so nervous.
If Les Mis comes up, I'm just going to put my head on the desk for the rest of the show.
Is it on there?
Final countdown. I don't even know what that is.
The final
That's
countdown.
one we added last time. I think either
All right.
Barbara Jean or Susan or somebody wanted added to it. It's not a terrible movie.
Holy crap, are we going to have a positive review from Mike?
I just said it wasn't terrible.
When's the last time you've seen it?
I feel like the Simon Cowell of this cast.
You basically are. Yes. I need to lose weight for next week.
You got the memo? I sent it to you. Did you get that?
I did. You can roll me down the hill. The final
We're using
countdown.
higher chairs next time, Davey, so you better lose some weight.
I love it. Is a 1980 American science fiction war film about a modern nuclear-powered aircraft carrier that travels through time to the day before December 7th, 1941, attack on Pearl Harbor. So this was produced by Peter Douglas and Lloyd Kaufman. This is a fan favorite, apparently.
It's a lot of interesting discussions come up because if you had the ability, would you have stopped that? And there's been a lot of those kind of shows that are kind of time travel stuff. What would you stop? What wouldn't you stop? One of the greatest examples was Deadpool 2.
Really?
Yes, Amanda knows why.
Oh my word.
And it involves everything we just talked about earlier. And I'm not bringing it up because if we mention any of the names or the places or any of it, it will get us in huge trouble.
Troy just joined comments and he wants to know if you liked the movie.
Rewatch it, Troy.
Troy, rewatch this because I pay you the highest of compliments in the first 5 minutes.
That's the only way you're going to get him to watch it.
It is an incredible compliment.
It's not in the first 5 minutes. It's somewhere around minute 27. It's not the first 5.
I swear it wasn't one in the first 5. Anyway, Troy, it's out there. It's a great compliment for you, sir. It is.
Wow. All right.
Dude.
And some people haven't heard of it, so it'll be very interesting to watch. There's a decent cast in this.
There's lots of places to watch it.
Oh, yeah?
You can watch it on Crackle. You can watch it on Peacock. You can watch it.
Crackle? Who the hell's
Pluto.
Crackle?
Crackle is one of those free services.
Oh,
that
I
you watch
can't
it
with the commercials. I can't.
You can watch it on Prime Video if you have a subscription.
Nice.
Roku channel, Tubi. You can also rent and buy all of the things.
The final countdown.
So are we doing this the last week of July? Are we doing it a different week in July? We got to figure out what the date is.
Good call.
At least 3 weeks.
Good call.
But I don't mind doing it in 3
Why?
weeks.
Because you're going to watch it the last day anyway. We could watch it in 3 days.
This is actually one of our shorter ones. It's only 1 hour, 43 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
All right. So the last Tuesday in July
Macho
is
movie.
July 30th. Do we want to do it July 30th?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm remembering my vacation day.
I don't think you are.
I am here the 30th.
Okay, you are? Okay.
I'm not here the 31st.
All right. July
Oh, that's
30th.
it. All right. August 1st, 1980,
Gracious.
this debuted.
I actually
Man.
remember seeing this.
Who is
special
the
effects?
cast? Kirk Douglas is in this.
Yes.
Excuse me. Marty Sheen.
The chin. The chin is in it.
Catherine
The chin.
Ross. Peter
The chin
Douglas.
heard around the
Spartacus is in this one, people. Just pay attention.
Ron O'Neill.
I'm Spartacus.
Spartacus, what a great movie.
Tony Curtis had an amazing role in that.
He definitely did.
He was awesome.
I've never seen Spartacus.
You really have
We
it?
should
I
put
really
that on
haven't.
the list.
Should add it. It's a
All
good
right,
one.
I'll add it to the list.
Now, if you really want to see gruesome Spartacus, more portrayed like reality, the Showtime series is pretty brutal, but it's pretty good.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it called Spartacus?
It's called Spartacus. There are...
I missed that one.
There's 4 seasons, I think. The lead actor got cancer and died after season 1.
Oh,
so,
wow.
I remember reading about
so
that.
they had to bring another guy in to play his role.
He was a cutie patootie.
He was really a great actor. He did a phenomenal job in Spartacus, and you get to see in that show the Romans are portrayed just how evil and debaucherous they really are.
Yeah.
It's rough.
I
There's
don't
some-
know if I
there's
want
some
to see
stuff.
that.
Yeah,
Man.
it's a great series on Showtime. There's a lot of blood and guts, though. I'm telling you that right now.
Sounds
Wheel
good.
of Destiny, is that what we're calling this?
Yep.
Yeah, Wheel of Destiny. Yep,
Wheel of Destiny.
yep. Speaking of destiny, we have to find out what the destiny is of that aircraft carrier from the
Destiny's
1980s.
Child.
We can name it that.
I like it.
I'm not bad about that.
Are you sure? Do you know who's in Destiny's Child?
I just like the name.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well,
Yes, I know it's a band.
we're going to leave it there.
It's a band that I've never listened to one of their songs. I know
We
that
know.
it makes you happy.
We know.
And I'm okay with that, Davey.
Good. Because
Yeah.
you have no idea
How many
who's in that
episodes
band.
of Yellowstone have you watched?
I've up to season 7.
It's finishing season
So
5.
So close. I haven't seen the latest season because I can't access it. Apparently,
Yeah.
that's a big frustration though with a lot
Yeah.
of people though. I like Beth. Beth is my favorite character. She's no nonsense.
Rip
I didn't
is-
like her in the beginning.
Rip is my favorite character.
Of course, because he's a strong silent type.
Yep. Yeah, there's a scene. It's a meme.
He
That's going
digs up his mother for an engagement ring.
Yes.
Is that realistic? Nobody would do this, Mike. This is not realistic.
Well, don't forget he did kill his father too. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a whole lot going on there. After his
Oy,
dad
oy.
brutally killed his mom and his brother.
Yeah.
Yellowstone's a tough one too because there's a lot of characters in season 1. You're just trying to figure out how much do I hate this person? Can I come
Right.
around? Beth being the prime example.
Who do I hate the least?
Yeah, the whole first season of Yellowstone.
Didn't
I was
like her.
I'm like, I don't know if I like any of these people.
Then she came through. Yes.
Season 2 was great though.
Yeah,
I thought
season
season 2
two
was
was good shit.
just the bomb. Yes. Troy Blevins, I am Spartacus. Yeah, Troy, go back and watch the once in a lifetime compliment for you, buddy.
Oh,
Oh,
lordy.
shut up.
Screen record it. Get Blake to screen record
Yes. May never happen again, my friend. No, Rip did not kill his mother. Rip's dad killed his mother and brother.
Yeah.
So
Not really a
Rip's
spoiler.
father-
You learn
yeah.
this in the first couple episodes.
You
it.
learn
Did you
that
guys
over.
see Kevin Costner on the cover of GQ magazine? Did you get it delivered to your house?
I do not get GQ delivered to my house. Why don't you bring it in for the share with the rest
Happy
of
to
us?
do that. I can do that. No problem. I saved them all. But yeah, he's on the cover. He did not thank us for interviewing him. I was shocked.
Well, then I don't want to read it.
I was
If he
shocked.
can't give credit where credit's due for this network making him the famous person that he was,
That was an incredible,
then
yeah.
I just have no time for him.
We helped launch his
Yep.
music career.
That is correct.
I went to that concert.
Did you really?
What-
I interviewed him. I didn't even go.
how
I
would you,
definitely went to that
how
concert.
would you grade the concert?
I went to see Kevin Costner in person, and I got what I went for.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You didn't think it was
I
like
mean,
anything moving?
It's a rich guy vanity project. He hires a bunch of very talented musicians. He barely strummed his guitar for most of the concert.
Really?
But I mean, he told stories about, what inspired each song, and he sings okay enough. But like, I went to see Kevin Costner and I got what I paid for.
So what you're saying is in the 70s, you would have gone to the Partridge Family show just to see David Cassidy.
If he did it for me, probably.
Yes.
Oh my God, David Cassidy was the bee's knees back then, right?
Bees knees.
He was.
Have you seen
man.
Yellowstone
Oh, hey.
1923 yet?
No.
Oh my gosh, Davey.
I haven't.
No,
either.
I have not gone down that rabbit hole.
You guys are, that to me is the best Yellowstone series.
And that was a
That's
prequel or something? Sort of like House of Dragons?
It's in
is a-
between. So 1883 was the beginning of the Dutton family getting out there and that story. And I thought that was an okay story.
Okay.
At times I felt like I was on the Oregon Trail. I mean, it was just like, okay, what else bad could happen to these
Right,
people?
right.
Unlike the movie we watched, every bad thing that could have happened to you crossing the plains happened in one of those
Oh
episodes.
my word.
Oh, this movie.
And then
Never gonna live
I'm
it
not
down.
over it. I'm going to make fun of this movie for at least a year.
You can't do that. This is like a culturally
It's
important
a thing.
movie.
Not to me.
Oh.
I'm not Italian.
They're coming for you.
We can tell. We can tell.
Coming
I
for
like
you.
Why does Troy know the height of every good-looking actor? Does that you just
Because he
wonder? Does he
compares
just
himself.
does he just study that?
5'3". That's shorty.
Why does he
Tom
always?
Cruise is 5'6".
Why is Troy always pulling out the tape measure?
I guess no
I'm just
taste,
asking.
obvious.
I don't know why.
I was going to go with he's a numbers guy and he memorizes stats. That's what I was going to go with.
All right. Is Darcy going to be watching this movie, seeing Life is Beautiful? Has she chimed in on
I
this at
told
all?
her what it was about, and she said, "I'm glad I didn't watch it with you."
Wow, I'm just so shocked. This whole family.
So
Wow.
she took his.
Yeah, Stand
his
by Your
take.
Man.
Yeah.
Stand by Your
Well, like
Man.
he described it that way. Who would want to watch that movie the way he described
Right,
that
exactly,
movie?
right.
So-
Yeah.
We
true.
watched the preview together a weekend and a half ago. And I'm like, "Hey, do you want to watch this weekend?" And she's like, "I just saw the preview. No, I don't want to watch it." She said, "There's no part of that movie that I want to see." And I'm like, "Okay."
The preview
Wow,
was kind
such
of
a
a weird.
cold,
It was kind of a
cold
weird
family.
preview.
It was kind of a weird movie. You're right. It went right along with it, Amanda. I agree with you.
Wow.
The preview's weird though.
It was terrible.
Please don't come to any art shows. Like,
What are art shows, Davey?
good. That's
What
a great
are art
thing.
shows?
Yeah.
Could you
probably
explain to
like
me
just
what
like
those
the
are?
paintings. They're like paint by numbers. It's like one picture of a canoe in the water, and then that's it. You're like, oh, that's moving.
I didn't like the paint by numbers because when I did them in school, I could never stay in the numbers.
You can never stay in the right. It would always bleed.
see,
It would always bleed.
I've hated art since then, Davey. It started then, and I'm not over it.
He doesn't like to be told what to do, so you can't tell him that color
Don't
goes
tell me I
there.
got to use a certain
Brown
color
is
to
not
certain
number
number.
5.
Yeah.
Every leader in this network just doesn't like to be told what to do.
That's why they started their own thing.
I guess
It's exactly it. We're the anti-hero.
it's true.
And again, go back and watch the end of Deadpool 2. You'll get the whole going back in time thing.
It's one of the greatest soundtracks out there too. Deadpool.
Deadpool 1 was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Deadpool 2 was great. Yeah.
Are we doing a watch party for Deadpool 3? We talked about it.
should. We definitely need to.
Yeah.
When does it come out?
Davey looks so heartbroken. I don't want to do this.
If I have to watch
Where are
that-
you putting me?
If I have to watch It's a Wonderful, Beautiful Life in Italy, you can go to Deadpool 3.
Life is beautiful. Ay, che male, faccio bello. Oh. Nobody to padre di my quattro. I'm praying for you, Mike Davis.
He could have gone to the Catholic Church. They might have helped him get out of there.
There
There were some that helped. Not
True.
all, but
That
Not
there
the
were some.
Vatican.
Not
They
all.
were in Italy.
Well, the Pope. Not this kind of Pope, though.
What kind of pope now?
We have a different kind of Pope now.
Yeah, he was giving a great headbutt to Joe Biden this weekend.
Did he really?
Well, Biden lowers his head and they're like forehead to forehead. And I'm like, are they like telepathically talking to one another? Or are they just two old people that got too close?
I'm sure in one of your conservative blogs that you've been reading that he's been slipping on the F-bombs.
Who's this, the Pope or Biden?
The Pope talking to. I think he just got a little too comfortable, and I'm not saying the 4-letter F-bomb. It's the one that you say the derogatory one about gay people, and he slipped now twice, and
Davey,
he's
this
apologized once.
This was a way funnier story, but I thought that it was the wrong F-bomb.
right. I know. Could you imagine? That would be hysterical.
He grew up in a different time.
Yeah, true.
Right? He grew up, and I'm not saying that is an appropriate phrase today, but if you grew up in that time, that was a phrase that everybody used.
Yes.
They did use it derogatorily. It was not
It means
that.
a bundle of sticks.
However, South Park is trying to bring it back.
Are they really?
So you have to watch the South Park episode where they're brought in front of a bunch of lawyers or the city council for using that word.
Okay.
And they explain to the city council why they're using that word. And only South Park could get away with this. Only South Park could go, okay, I kind of get why they're saying
So
it. And it has nothing to do with the old terminology whatsoever. They're just simply...
So the original meaning of that particular F word
Thank you, Amanda.
was bundle of sticks.
yes, correct.
And the fascist party was named after it because they were all stronger together as a bundle, and they were collectivists. And so the fascist party is named after that
I'm
F
done.
word.
I'm deceased. I'm retiring after this show. That is hysterical. I can't anymore. I'm done learning. I don't want to learn any more about culture or life. Wow.
You come in here all happy and we crush you.
Just crushed
Just
me
like
tonight.
the morning show,
I
Davey.
literally
Just like
feel
the morning show.
I
crushed.
didn't mean to.
What a beautiful movie, and it's a complete
right.
trashed now.
You'll never watch it the same again. You'll always be wondering if
I will always remember you, though, in this movie.
if you'll always be wondering if Tom Hanks is coming to save that little boy.
Oh.
Was
Tom Hanks.
that young Tom Hanks in the
Could
tank?
it have been
We don't
Colin
know.
Hanks?
Tom Hanks.
Colin?
Wait, which one is the acceptable Hanks son and which one is the
With
unacceptable?
the rapper
The
one?
rapper. It was the rapper son in
There's
the
two.
tank.
There's
Yeah.
one that's a degenerate, and then there's like a nice one, right?
Well,
Yeah.
is he a degenerate or does he just not toe the line?
Or he's
That's
just
the
an
question.
artist. Yeah, he doesn't fit in the box. Yeah. Jeez, oh, Pete.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have advice questions?
Oh, I could.
We have like 4 minutes.
I could definitely do some advice.
Unless you guys have anything else you want to talk about.
I have advice. Who should I watch movies with? Because it's not Mike Davis.
It's not Mike Davis, but apparently you'll watch South Park. Okay. Okay, because that makes complete
Now, I've got to
sense.
be honest with you guys. I can only watch when Darcy's not in the room. I can't watch Family Guy or South Park because they're so irreverent. She just does not get that kind of humor, and she's like, "No, I'm not." Now, in my defense, whenever anything is on, like Bridgerton or Housewives or any of that, I'm like, I'll be in the other room.
Bridgerton's great.
We have we literally break the TV up. There's things we watch together, and then it's like, no, I'm not watching that.
It's not for you, Bridgerton. It's not for Troy either. It's not. It's a good show because it's Chandra Rhimes. I don't think you would like her. She's too floral for you.
Floral.
You know what I mean? Like it's like too.
Well, the thing that got me, Davey, is when they tried, there was no blue jeans and boots. I'm like, why are we watching this?
Once again,
why are we watching this? Where's the cowboy hats, Davey?
Oh, you got to have something
when the
macho.
cows are in corsets and not in the pasture, Mike's out.
The Natural. That should be our next movie.
The Natural's a pretty good one.
My father loved that one. Yeah,
that was an absolute. I went to that movie in college.
Are you now identifying?
Yeah, I'm just trying to find which lane. Like Dad liked MASH. He'll probably like MASH. Yeah.
Which one? The show or the movie?
The show.
I thought the movie was kind of raunchy.
Oh, I didn't see the movie.
Yeah, Sally Kellerman had a few moments in it.
What kind of movie are you watching? Is that the Beat a Curtain kind of movie?
No.
I've never seen the MASH the movie.
You should watch the original MASH movie. It is much raunchier than the TV show.
Okay.
And it is.
Why do I want to watch that?
A League of Their Own. That has boring Tom Hanks in it. Did you like that movie?
I actually like The League of Their Own.
Madonna's in it.
So is Rosie O'Donnell.
I know. You don't like either one of those.
Gina Davis was awesome in that.
Shocker.
It was before she became an Olympic level archer.
That's
Gina
true.
Davis, really?
Yeah.
Is she truly?
She's right. Yeah.
She had that movie.
She tried out for the Olympics.
And she had a movie where she was a pirate.
I think that's the movie she learned not hook.
Matthew Modine was in that.
Yeah, and it ruined all of their career. Was it Cutthroat Island or something?
Cutthroat Island or something, yes.
Gosh, Gina Davis had a moment, right?
She did.
In time. Like she was
Beetlejuice,
in so
iconic.
many movies.
Love Beetlejuice.
They're bringing that back. It's coming in the fall.
I'm so scared. I hate modern Hollywood.
Yeah, me too. I don't know if it's going to be good or not, right?
I don't want to disappoint you guys, but it's probably going to stink.
You think so?
And I used the nice word.
Is Michael Keaton in it?
Michael Keaton's in it. Winona Ryder's in it. And they brought in Jenna Ortega to be Winona Ryder's daughter.
Winona, poor thing.
I know.
The stealing at Saks.
Oh, the Macy's.
Remember those?
Was it Saks?
No, it was at Saks. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because she was in every break room. Like you couldn't help her.
Her picture was up.
For those of you that care, Florida State just defeated North Carolina 9-5, and will move on to play Tennessee.
All right.
So
sports ball.
That's wonderful.
Sports ball. It was a late goal, Davey. It was a late goal that won it for us.
Was it a home run?
No, it was a late goal, Davey.
What does that
It's
mean?
baseball. It's a late goal.
But did they leave Italy in 1935 before anything bad happened?
No.
Did they do that?
Yes,
But they won the
should've.
tank.
They should have.
1,000 points.
Yeah.
1,000
points for the Seminoles. Nice job.
Yeah, how many points do we have?
Oh, my word.
Yeah. No.
Gracious. Are we going to do
only
one?
Radar was in the movie and the series.
We're at 57. What do you want to do?
Fire one out there.
Okay.
Make it a long one so we have to just not give a complete answer.
Oh, great. Oh, great. Okay, so
Come back tomorrow for
Dear Mike, I am 37 and I have been with the same man for the last 6.5 years. The problem is I don't want to have a baby before it's too late. It's not a huge desire of his, but he said that he would want to do this for me. The thing is, I want someone who passionately wants the whole process and not just phoning it in. Am I asking for too much? Time is running out for me. What do I do? Signed, am I waiting too long?
So I'm going to let the expert in the room answer this question first.
Why?
Do you want me to answer first as the non-expert so you
Freeze
can
your
make fun
eggs.
of me? Okay.
Freeze your eggs.
Well, first of all, you're people in their late 30s, right?
Biological clock, yes.
Yeah, my mom was 36 and 40 when she had my youngest brother and my youngest sister, right? Which at that time was like, oh my gosh, it's unheard of, right? I think that kids are a wonderful thing. I think they make in our family they've been absolutely wonderful. We did have a discussion whether to have our fourth child, and I had a mom who had terrible complications on child number 3. Tell me you're being a wimp about this. You should just go ahead and have another kid.
Okay.
She went on after having terrible complications to have 4 more kids. After that, she had 7 kids. So I was like, man, I am the biggest wimp in the entire world. But kids are actually awesome. They're amazing. I don't think we're having enough of them right now. I think if you look at the downward spiral of births in the United States, I think that's a detrimental thing to our whole country.
But the baby boomers, you guys there was a lot in that era, right?
They were post World War II. They came back from fighting a war, and they're like, you know what?
Let's make love.
Yes, not we're gonna make love.
They learned from the Italians and started sucking the legs of all the ladies that fell out of the haystack.
Don't forget the French. They were kind of big about that whole thing too.
Because two people decided to have sex, like, and I'm the sperm that won. Like, that's such a great champion moment.
I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
You made it. You were Davey. Even back then, you were an Olympic swimmer.
I see, exactly.
My answer to this question is read the room. You know him better than maybe he even knows himself. Do you think that he's going to see that baby and he's going to fall head over heels in love? And then be like the dad that didn't want the dog, and then the dog's always in his lap.
Boom, that's where I was going.
Is he going to be that dad, or is he going to be the man that once you get pregnant, completely panics and bails? So you know him better than we do. Decide which one he is, and then make your choice off that.
I am with you there. That's where my mind was going, was like the dog situation. It's like the dads never want the dog, and then all of a sudden they're like BFF.
Yeah.
But this is a baby.
But I know people who never wanted kids, accidentally got pregnant, and they're fantastic parents and they love their babies. But I know people that accidentally got pregnant and never wanted kids, or even wanted kids but didn't want them right then, and then completely bailed and they were terrible. So, don't use an anecdote. You know him and you make that decision. But, you're running the risk. It's a gamble one way or the other.
Yeah, what are you going to do? At
He's
37, you're going to start over just because he didn't, you have one disagreement on something? I don't know. This is
it's a pretty big disagreement.
It's a big
I'm going to tell you, when Darcy and I started dating, it was probably one of the third or fourth things we talked about.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we got serious with one another. It's like, okay, do you want kids? Do you want a family? How big a thing? Because it was a big deal.
And did you want as big as a family as you had now, or did you want smaller?
We both wanted 5.
Oh, wow.
We would have had 5. Things didn't work out.
Yeah.
Well, you can adopt me.
Biology got in the way. It does that.
It did. Yep.
Well, all right. So that's okay. That's
so I would say
advice.
Read the room.
Yeah, read the room.
And
I think that's a great.
Whatever your heart is telling you about the kind of dad he's going to be, then make that decision.
Freeze your egg. I just can't freeze your egg. I would.
Freezing your eggs are really, that whole process is really hard on a woman's body, and it increases your cancer risk. So it's not without a cost.
Hard. They just go in and they pull it out.
You
and
have
put it
to
in the
go
freezer.
through an incredible amount of hormones to get a ton of follicles to develop all at one time so that they can harvest
It's a little easier for you to contribute to the genetic material of a child.
Your donation is easier and more fun to collect.
It's a whole lot easier, David. So I think so Davey, as guys, just shut up right now.
You made a lot of money. There's a lot
hole.
of Davies out there, man. I'm telling you. That's how I paid
You're
rent
not
in New York
helping,
City.
Davey. This is not a good conversation to have.
You see a bunch of blonde-headed, effeminate kids. You know that's my child.
Yeah.
Yes.
That explains the dance company.
Yeah, exactly.
Just kidding. All right, tomorrow night, who do we have?
Levi Moore's coming in.
Oh, cool.
So we have Levi Moore's going to guest in. He wants to learn a little bit about podcasting. He was on before with his brother, and he's got just him. We're going to come talk about everything. We got all kinds of different topics we haven't talked about. And then Thursday, we've got a phenomenal round of trivia again, along with an incredible leading question for both Troy and Lenny.
Are we doing some good questions this time? If you watched last week, the questions was sus.
Blake wrote me a note. He thought they were the best questions we've had in weeks. In weeks, he said. In weeks.
I bet he did.
I even gave you the Greenland shark question.
You made me start with it, so then everyone just gave my same answer. You make me answer last, so they all look silly.
Under the bus. You're under the bus. Yes.
They all just jumped on my bandwagon.
Well, all you have to do is stutter like Blake does. Pretend like you don't know the answer.
True.
I couched it. I couched it with, I think I'm wrong. I think it's blue. I think it's
Your
blue
eyes
whale.
were this big. You were smiling when I said Greenland shark.
Lies.
They knew you had
All
the
lies.
answer. They knew you had the answer. Go back and watch the tape.
All lies.
Playing poker with you. Like, I got 4 aces.
Under
what
the
do I do?
bus. Under the
What
bus.
do I do?
Good gracious. No wonder you didn't like Life is Beautiful.
Unbelievable.
You know who I liked in life? Is the tank guy. The guy driving the tank was the coolest guy in the movie because he was an American.
Oh, my word.
I can't anymore.
Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for joining us for Movies with Mike, where Mike crafts on movies.
Please register to vote.
We'll see you tomorrow.